Everybody, all right. So we got some good news today. The market's gone up another $2,500 today. We had a really good day yesterday, so we have a gain of about 5%. And the really good news is that there's a very specific set of trends when we look at the movers and who are the big movers and kind of where they're going. So first of all, we're going to talk about something we never talk about is Bitcoin. Bitcoin's basically $12,000. It hasn't been at this point in forever. I mean, if we go back 5 years to when it hit 20,000, the last time it hit 12,000 was right before it spiked to 20,000. So we're talking, this was back in 2017. So gosh, roughly 3 years. But if you look at the last month, it's been relatively flat, sitting around 9,200 or so. I've kept an eye on it, even though it hasn't been a part of our video. And then it took a massive spike up to about 11,000 on the 27th, and then it got as high as a little over 12,000. So I'm not really a big person to say, well, when it goes up, you should buy it, but we've seen the ability of Bitcoin to get up to 20,000. That's when it was speculation, but there's a lot more use of blockchain technology, and there's a lot more people trying to mine it now. So with that being said, it's definitely worth looking at for sure. The nice thing about Bitcoin is you don't have to buy it in a unit like a stock. I mean, you can still buy fractional shares in a stock, but if you want to buy $1,000 in Bitcoin, you can do that. I also recommend if you're going to do Bitcoin, here, let's go back up here. I bought Bitcoin before and made a nice little pretty penny off that, but also Bitcoin Cash. So we'll take a look at that as well. And this one is priced a little bit lower per coin. But if you look, let's take a look at the last month. It's basically followed the same thing, 220 to 316. And if you look at the same pattern, it basically shares the same pattern. It got up to 2,500. It's sitting at 300. So do I think there's a bigger upside? Sure. I think it's kind of like silver to gold. I think this one has a little bit bigger upside than Bitcoin does, but it's worth looking at. All right, another big winner today. American Virtual Cloud Technologies went up 72% today. This was the one where they basically had the merger with Candy with a K, and the market just reacted really well to that. So that one is actually, we tripled our money, and it's our leading candidate. We'll talk a little bit about that going forward. But it's just, you have basically a tech company, for lack of a better term, that just exploded. All right, so with that being said, let's see, Braemar Hotels. Okay, so this is one of the patterns that we've seen is the casinos, especially service like hotels and things, but specifically casinos have gone up a ton today. And this went up 10%. It's crazy. This stock is awesome. This was my top performer for a while, and only 2,346 people owned it, which means it is probably the best kept secret on Robinhood. So with that being said, let's see, Braemar, just as a reminder for those who haven't seen the videos when we talked about that, they basically they're headquartered in Dallas, and they do smaller casinos and hotels. I believe they do luxury hotels and resorts, but I think they do riverboats as well. But anyway, the whole point is this is an area, if you haven't invested in stock, and I know some of you have reached out to me for advice on what to do, if I had to reinvest money right now and I started from scratch, I would probably start with casinos and oil. Those would be the two that I would start with. So Braemar got off to a really hot start today. They're up 10%. Red Rock is up 8%. It's an off-strip hotel in Vegas, and it was actually the first hotel I was ever at in Vegas, and it's awesome. I mean, I got to tell you, the suite I don't even know if it was a suite. The room I was staying in should have been a suite. It was massive. The bed was huge. It was comfortable. I mean, I was there for a work conference, and I really didn't want to leave. So it was really that simple. So great stock. That's why when I started investing, I immediately looked at the casino stocks. So, all right. So with that being said, we'll take a look at one other one. And this is Zovio. This is my old company. I was actually at my bank talking to one of the commercial bankers yesterday, and he bought Zovio like right before it took off. So if we take a look at Zovio, right before University of Arizona made their deal with them, it was at 352, and now it's at 632. So I mean, it's gone up dramatically. basically it's doubled in price. So I told him, I said, part of me was like a little sad that I don't have any position in it, but I was in on the IPO on this stock, so I made my share of money on this stock. It's crazy because more people own Zovio, if that's right, than own Braemar. Twice as many people own Zovio, my old company, than own Braemar. This is the best kept secret in my portfolio, in my opinion. Red Rock, we talked about that. Full House Resorts, yeah, they do different smaller casinos, Silver Slipper Casino and a hotel, Bronco Billy's Casino and Hotel, Rising Star Casino Resort, and Northern Nevada. I mean, basically the whole thing. It's basically like the movie or the TV show Ozark, in a sense. That's kind of what they're doing. And they went up 20% today. Again, 5,000 people own this. Half the amount own Braemar, which is kind of nuts. Century Casinos went up 13% today. 14,000 people own that one. Golden Entertainment went up 10% today. 4,000 people. I mean, I got to tell you, I can't believe how few people own Braemar. It's a total best kept secret out there. I was tripling my return at one point. Viad, they basically do, I know, just for people who haven't been there, they basically do destination experiences. Where is it? Live event service to visible and influential events and global brands. So they're basically in marketing services and travel and recreation services. So as things start to open up, this is where you see things going up. And where there's positive outlook in the economy, that's why kind of where we're seeing this trend that's going up there. And only 25 people, 100 people own this on Robinhood. That's nuts. All right, so that's that sector. Menlo Therapeutics is one we have a limit order on. This one's dropped 14%. If you looked at the week, it was going up and up. It took a downward. I haven't actually taken a look at the news on it, so let's go ahead and see if there's anything that precipitated that drop. Usually if it's a biotech company like Menlo, it's one of their trials went down the toilet. So let's do any time in the last week. All right, where was the drop on this guy? All right, the drop is on 6, so that might be their quarterly earnings. So let's take a look. Yeah, so my guess is it's quarterly earnings. Let's see, are there any news on here? Yeah, so that's their quarterly earnings. That was their actual, that was their estimated. That's probably where the drop was. Remember, this is 100% buy. So on Reddit, there's a bunch of people that refer to this as Brian's ATM, and Brian being, oh, they got a new CEO. Oh, I guess they do have a new CEO. There was a CEO, his name was Brian before. Anyway, so I have this at 140. If I get it at 140, it's fine. I'm still going to do some research on it, but it's one of the better biotech buys you have out there. Crestwood Equity was, until AVCT, my top performer. That one went down today. They do oil, so that will happen from time to time. No big deal. I'm not really worried about this. This one's been my star performer. You know, when you have the best guy in the league and he has bad shooting night, it happens. You show up next night, you'll be good. All right, so let's take a look at our portfolio. So we're now up to, this was at 50 some odd thousand before, and now we're up at 75,000. So it's steadily gone up and up and up. If we take a look at our portfolio over the last week, it's just been a consistent gainer. So we were at 52, you see right there, and we're all the way up at 61, and that just accounts for some of the margin that we have here. So take a look at for the month. I think it got down to 49, but you see it starting to come back when the numbers are just looking good, and there's really nothing that people can clamp on to be gloom and doom about things. All right, so with that being said, our top performer is AVCT. We basically tripled our money in a matter of days. Crestwood Equity is just behind that at about tripling our money. All right, let's close down my mail. I don't feel like getting notifications for that. All right. Let's see. PVAC is about tripled the money, and Redwood Trust is about 2.5 times what we invested. Not a whole lot in the red anymore. We see a couple in single digits. Red Robin Group's kind of bumped up lately, so that's close to breaking even. PBF is an oil and natural gas company. They're close to breaking even. Viad is the one we just talked about, the travel company, and they're basically broken even. I mean, they're 12 cents per share from breaking even. So with that being said, we have GNC, which is we'll probably take a bath on about $700 in this. We'll see. But it's one of these where they're going through bankruptcy, and there might be all the other bankruptcies had a quick blip up in their price just because short orders were in there. So we still have that as a limit sell, but whatever happens. I don't care. If it goes to zero, I really don't care. It's a small amount. I threw it as a flyer, and we'll see what happens. Let's see what else. XAN has done really well in the last couple days, but that's still going to take a while to get up to where we want it to be. It was kind of like where Yuko was for the longest time, but now Yuko's 15% over. So I'm not really worried about XAN. And then IVR is a REIT, but those have gone up and down, so we'll just let that one ride. All right, so with that being said, we priced in all the new prices, sorted by the upside, which is the difference between the price on February 20th when everything started going down and its current price. So we have all the ones that we want to have on the top. Yesterday we talked, we're not doing Dave & Buster's because indoors, touching people, central air conditioning, and being there for a long period of time is how coronavirus or any infectious disease gets passed. So we're going to hold off on that for now. Cruise ships are the same thing, and Texas hospitality is an oil one. So we are pretty well set there. So we have Menlo in there. That's working up the upside pretty well. The ones that we don't have next are Cinemark, which is a movie chain. We'll see. It's interesting. It's a regional movie chain. I think we have a couple out here, but they're bigger in the Midwest, I think. Carnival Cruises, we're not going to touch that one. And then Service Corporation, we just sold. So, we're going to try to find something else. Everything else is under 3, so we'll leave those alone for right now. Projections, we're still projected to be at about 310 off of our current portfolio, about 305,000. And we did our July report today. In July, it's one of the first ones we're going to actually take a negative on just because the market went down. So over the course of July, we went down 24% from where we were at the beginning of the month. But it's not a big deal. I mean, if we ended today where we were at the beginning of July, we were, 70,000 at the beginning of July, and we're already above that, 5,000 above that right now. So a little dip in July, but if you look at May and some of the other months, I mean, we gained 50%. So that stuff is going to happen. But if you want to take a look at this, we have a link in the video description where you can download this particular spreadsheet, use it, claim it's yours, steal, cheat, improve it, whatever you want to do. But it's there for your perusal. If you haven't downloaded Robinhood yet, it's a great platform. I mean, I've used E-Trade. I've seen some of the other ones. This one is just really, really simple to use and puts everything you want to have in one simple spot. So with that being said, I'll take a look at tomorrow, although it's super early. And let me see, is that the Dow? Let me take a look if that's the Dow for today. No, that's not the Dow for today. So looks like we're going to have we always check it later, but it looks like we're progressing really good for a nice Friday. So we'll check it tonight, see what it looks like. I just like the overall trend, so I'm probably not going to do anything no matter what. But we're going to let it ride. The whole idea here is we want to keep our cost basis down. We're playing golf, keep the number as low as possible. If the market goes down enough, we'll get Menlo. And if it goes up, we're probably going to get, we'll see if any of these fund anytime soon, but we want to be in a position to do that. But there's nothing I really want to sell now. Let's ride this sucker while we're doing it. And if anything changes, we'll make the adjustment. But with that being said, I will see you tomorrow. To get more information on the sales cheat code, go ahead and click on the subscribe button below. Also, down below in the video description, down there, there's a link that takes you to our website that gives you additional content, some additional freebies that we have, and gives you information on some programs that we have that have been proven to help people to make sales easy so that you can make the kind of money you want, live the lifestyle that you've always wanted,
and not have to struggle in the process. And what might be the coolest thing of all is you don't have to put much effort into it. It truly is a cheat code that most people don't know about. And it's a cheat code that can change your life today. So click on the link below and let me help you start to experience these results starting right now.